Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, I haven't seen you in so long. It's been like a year.
A year.
It's been a year. It's been a week. Hi everyone. Samar is back. She's here.
I'm back,
So
I'm back.
how's your trip?
My trip was very nice here. I put a picture. I went to a place in
Oh,
New
look at this.
Little Shemagog. I didn't even know it existed. We were limited.
Oh my God.
Well, the pandemic is still like some areas you can't go. So we went there and it was very nice. One of my other hobbies that I like is to collect.
Oh, this is so pretty. I like this so much, as well as Daisy. Daisy looks very, very happy and in her, you know,
Yes, so not all houses allow dogs, so they allowed for her to come. So she got to come on holiday with us and sniff up a storm on the beach. So it was nice. It was nice to, see something other than the inside of my house.
yes. How are you guys? What's going on? Are you going away anywhere to relax? Let us know in the comments. Today we are getting ready to kick off new series. We decided to start a cupcake series, and we're just going to do some introduction into cupcake baking and decorating today. Hello,
So
Nadia.
Fridays.
Hey, Jay.
Oh, hello, Jeremy. I was a slacker. Yes, that's right. Hello, hello. So yeah, Fridays, if you're not aware, we decorate cookies, and we're just going to, cookies and cupcakes are different, but also slightly the same in that they're mini projects, right? Um, like different than a cake where you're the whole kind of big thing. Each person gets a little work of art. So that's where they're kind of similar. And so there's some tools that will carry over. So if you're good at cookies, you're probably going to be good at cupcakes, chances are.
We'll see. I'm
Thank
not. We'll see. Yes, let us know. Are you a team cookie or cupcake or both?
Hello,
So,
June.
hi, June.
Hello.
Firefly. I wish I knew your real name. It's like calling you. I love Firefly.
She said it the other day, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I do like to call. I mean, I can call you Firefly because I
Sure.
love fireflies. They are so
They're magical.
magical. Yes.
My trip was very nice. Very, very nice. Here, I'll pop it up. You weren't there. Here's where I was. So it was lovely.
She was looking at it. Oh, you took it off. I was trying to get into the mood. Hi, Terry. Team
So
Cookie.
welcome, everybody.
I'll be pleased if I have to.
So as usual, we're going to save the live stream so you can rewatch it on replay. And Han is going
Hi,
to
Katie.
start today.
So I'm going to just show you like very basic things that I use to make. I don't make cupcakes that often, but when I do make them, I usually use a muffin pan. And it's a 12-inch. I have a Teflon pan. This is a 12-inch. I have several of these. I also have mini one, but I actually I don't make as many mini cupcakes as regular size cupcakes. I don't know if other countries have different sizes, but this is a US size. So I baked my cupcakes in this pan. I'm gonna show you some liners. We talked about this before with Mar about the liners. How when we first started, I guess into the cupcake um, baking, we were so enamored by all the colorful and cupcake liners with designs on them, and you're so tempted to buy them all. Right? Do you have it on hand? The kit that you bought?
Well, I've had it, forever. Kind of, it's like a
Look
little.
how cute. It's a strawberry shortcake cupcake set, right? So you're so tempted to buy these, but generally these cupcake liners are not a very good quality. So I personally now just resort to either a good quality white cupcake liner. I really like brown cupcake liners. These actually have some stripes on them. These are like more like a gourmet style cupcakes, but these are the ones. These are the basic brown ones, and these you can get like 300 of them or 400 of them for $100. Yes.
So the thing that also happens with these kind of decorative ones is you're always left with 6, 4, 10. and not enough to reuse for another batch. Whereas if you always have like the package of 500 or 300,
exactly,
it works.
What you can do with the leftover cupcakes is do the crafts, right? You can do, like I've seen a lot of people do crafts. You can make garlands and stuff. Hi, Mary. Hi, Catherine. So you could do that. Now, you can also get freestanding cupcake liners, something like this. And this is a freestanding liner that you just put on a baking sheet and bake them like that. Super easy to take along with you somewhere. And they're really, really cute. These have polka dots on them. I am partial to polka dots. You know that, right? And these are actually heavily waxed inside. So your cupcake, I guess that's to prevent cupcake batter from bleeding out, right? And it kind of makes the liners sturdier. My favorite, though, freestanding are these. These are fluted. These are like for brioche, you know, for bread, but it looks like that. But you can make cupcakes in them. I have done that many years ago, and I baked actually cute little princess cupcakes. Aren't they adorable? You just need a little swirl, you know, a little decoration on the top, and there you go, cute little thing. So these are also available everywhere online. I also have, and I don't know if these are still popular or not. These are, do you know what these are?
Just liners, just decoration.
These are cupcake wrappers. This is, it looks like this, and then it actually has, I didn't realize that until now, it has 3 slits depending on the size of the cupcake you're trying to wrap. So what you do with these, you basically bake it in a cupcake liner, and then for like a party setting or something like that, you can then nest them. The only thing is, because they don't have the bottom, it's kind of difficult to handle them, I find, but they do look pretty, don't they? This is what
they do. And if I can mention, if you have a silhouette machine, you can make your own.
Oh yeah, exactly. They actually do. Yes, these cupcake liners. That's a good thing that you mentioned that these cupcake liners, they actually are very popular in a laser cut. Like
yes,
for
yes,
Halloween. Yes. Halloween. I don't know if you've seen for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen different designs like this spider web and things like that.
Yes.
That's really like, imagine black, like black wrapper and white liner. It looks really nice. Okay, I also have, these are probably the most popular in a silver one you can get in a grocery store. They're very sturdy. They sometimes, I don't know if these have like double.
I find that those, I like the tin ones. I find they impact the cooking time. I find they cook faster.
Oh, they cook faster. Oh, okay. I haven't thought of that. And I also have some cut liners from Japan. So just to compare, now this is a size of a liner that you would use in a muffin pan in US, and this is a size from Japan. So these are quite small. They're also heavily waxed inside, but they're so dainty and small. So that's about the cupcake liners. Like we said, we do prefer nowadays to have solid colors because you can do more with them and you are not left with 6 or 5 liners and you don't know what to do with it. So then you have, more options.
I think if you get a good quality brown, which is a neutral, and then a good quality white, because sometimes brown may be too harsh depending on your color palette. So you can have those. And
another thing to remember, now these I picked up here locally in a grocery store, and look at the height on these.
Yeah, they're not tall.
They're not that tall. Like, I don't know, like it's hard to say, but it's
your brown ones are probably taller.
Brown ones are probably even taller, yes. Well, no, this is not the brown one, and this is the brown one. Yep, it's like 1/4 inch taller. So depending on the size of your cupcake, you might have to adjust the amount of batter you're adding into your liner.
Yeah.
General suggestion, for this muffin pan, it's a 1/4 cup or up to 2/3 up the liner. So make sure that you kind of figure that out. Okay, so that's about that. And I'm going to see, okay, I thought, oh, this is so cool for Christmas, but it's kind of like, I don't like it anymore.
Well, I don't think that those would bake well. They'd probably disappear once the grease.
Yeah, that's what I think. They would probably disappear once the grease hits it. It's kind of like.
I saw a T-shirt. I saw a T-shirt once. It was cute. It said, "Muffins are just ugly cupcakes." But I love a good muffin.
We had a discussion about what is a cupcake. Okay, so I actually did a little bit of research about that, and so cupcakes, you can make cupcake batter different ways. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a quick video. I actually baked 3 different cupcakes using 3 different methods this morning. One is a blending method. That's the one I'm gonna show you, and that's how I made chocolate cupcakes. Super delicious. And these are the liners that I bought here. Look, I mean, they dome quite a bit, but if I was to use this liner next time, I would add less batter because I added a lot of batter. But these dome nicely, so they don't really overflow that as much as some other cupcakes. So let me just quickly grab this video where it is. Okay, so this is the chocolate cupcake recipe. I have this on the blog. It's super delicious. This method actually is similar to when you're making a mud cake, when you are heating up your fat. And I also added some coffee, and I also added some alcohol, which adds just nice flavor to it. You want to just heat it up until all of the coffee, if you're using coffee instant, until it's all dissolved and until all of the butter is melted. And then you have to let it cool. And here are all the ingredients that we're going to be using. So I'm using all-purpose flour, and I'm going to get all of the dry ingredients into the bowl. Now I realized today that I need to start sifting my granulated sugar because I guess not all the granulated sugar is equal. My granulated sugar, after I sifted it, I ended up seeing larger granules. So I wanted to make sure that I get rid of those because that can cause uneven baking in the oven once the sugar starts melting.
Mm-hmm.
So you see on the bottom, that's all the sugar that is larger. And then we can add cooled butter and butter, coffee, rum, and then we can add the egg. You're gonna beat it for about 2 minutes or so before you add the egg. You can also do this by hand. You don't have to even use the mixer. You can use a whisk. This batter is quite liquidy, and so what I ended up doing, I used the quarter measure to first give me an idea how high do I have to go with the batter, and then I poured it into this, what's this called?
It's made for that. But you have a really interesting technique, and I couldn't find any. I don't know where are my decorating bottles, but you had mentioned that you use the decorating bottle. Yeah, I use a squeeze bottle, and I haven't used it in a while, and I couldn't find the lid, so I didn't end up being able to even use it. I have the bottle, but I couldn't find the lid.
So did you actually weigh the amount of batter? First?
Oh, I would eyeball it. After you do it often enough, you would just look, and they're, you can kind of gauge that they're about the same.
So you can also weigh it, if you're really trying to make them say they're for a wedding and you want them to be exactly the same height and all that. So you can also use a scale and weigh them. Once they are baked, these are actually slightly domed, and you want the toothpick to come out clean. You can see some of them in the middle. They kind of are touching the side, so you want to release them before they get cool, because otherwise then it will be difficult. So I ended up using a spatula and just run it around, and then you can take them out and let them cool completely. Okay, so that's the cupcake. For a cupcake number 1. And then I also made, and let me bring this up because I don't have the videos ready.
So Anne is asking, in Spain, do they have caster sugar?
They do have caster sugar. It's it's like the between the granulated and powdered sugar, right? It's like medium. They do, but it's only in UK stores. I haven't seen it in a Spanish store, and it's quite pricey. So I haven't bought it.
So Anna, welcome to our live. We're on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we put our recipes and backup stuff in our coffee shop. Here's the link. I'm putting it in the ticker there at the bottom. And where else? Oh, here. I'll put it here. This is a coffee shop. Those are the links. And did you put anything up in there?
I have not put anything up. I am going to put a link to the recipe that I am using today for the chocolate cupcakes. I actually have them on the blog, but the recipe is not printable yet. I need to update it. So I'm going to put it in the comments. It makes the recipe makes about 12 cupcakes, depending on how it's a really good size, I find. 12, it's a good size for cupcakes, and they're really moist. Now, so the other cupcakes I made, they're also listed on the blog, but I made some minor adjustments. So let me just bring this up. Little camera distance.
There.
Okay. Okay.
Well.
Okay, so here they are. So these are the cupcakes that I made. These are, I don't know if you can guess what they are, but you probably can. They smell amazing. Okay, so these are coconut cupcakes, and I used my brown liners for these. And this is also a coconut cupcake, and I swirled strawberry jam inside of these. These are fantastic. These are really, really good. So that's another thing you can do before you bake them. You can swirl a jam, or yes, it's a small grain, yes, but I have not tried it. Jam, or you can add truffles and other things before they are baked. I also used coconut milk, desiccated coconut in these, and coconut flavoring. So they are very, very coconutty. Now this is a recipe that is also on the blog, and you can see these baked flat. This is a pound cake recipe that I have, and I use the reverse method, which means that I first mix soft butter with flour. So my butter was coated with flour, and this is a good method to use when you're trying to add fresh fruit, because butter is already coated with flour. It's not going to continue. I'm trying to say
limit your
like
moisture.
It's not going to get like watery, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and this is a cupcake that I made with a freestanding liner. So you see, it's super easy to remove. Like it's coming out fairly easy. Look, aren't they pretty? These are so pretty. All right, so we are going to decorate some of these cupcakes. I thought I would do some simple decorating, but I wanted to give a chance to Mars say a word or two.
Say a word or two.
Yes. I'm gonna start while you are talking. I'm gonna start following my Buttercream.
So I did load a document to the coffee shop, my coffee shop. So here are some of my top kind of tools that I suggest if you're a beginner. Obviously, a cupcake tray. Ideally, skip the silicone cupcakes. It's very wiggly. So if you have a silicone cupcake tray, well, you're going to need a cookie sheet to hold them. The cupcake trays stack inside of each other. They don't take that much room. Some good quality cupcake liners.
I always said the silicone cupcake liners are more meant for the chocolate work than for the cupcake, because they are major pain to clean.
Yes, that too. But if you use a liner in them.
Oh, yes.
And so the cupcake liners, a scoop to get your batter in the cupcakes. Now, batter varies. Sometimes it can be very thick, and other times it can be quite runny. So a scoop if your batter is thick, and runny, a squeeze bottle, in my opinion, is what is kind of the fastest and the least messy. Tipless bags are not ideal when decorating cupcakes. Buttercream is thicker than runny icing, so you need a thicker piping bag. I really like the Ateco. They're a nice quality. Piping tips that you use for cookies, not ideal for cupcakes. You're going to need, usually bigger sizes. Then if you get fancy, you can get the Russian ball tips, the flower tips. I have them here. I'll show you guys. Then larger petal tips, larger leaf tips. This is my favorite carrier to bring your cupcakes somewhere to a party. It breaks apart in 3 sections. So you don't always have to have this giant carrier. If you're only bringing a dozen, you can only use like 1 layer of it, and you can put cookies in it. It's my favorite one is that one. And then the disposable version, there's the plastic ones. Those are great because they're washable. The boxes are a little bit more environmental, but they get grease marks and they're ugly really quick. And then they're good for the garbage because it looks dirty with grease marks.
They are good for the garbage.
Well, you know what I mean? Like if there's a big grease mark, it's not.
Right. Yes, I do agree. I do agree.
So there, so hands ready. She's gonna decorate.
I'm not. Oh, you really think I'm a Wonder Woman, okay? Because like I said, I was gonna color the buttercream.
Oh, that's why you have your gloves.
Oh, how fast do you think? Oh my god! Like, this is.
Well, you have them there.
Folks, this is not a sped up video, okay? So you're gonna have to bear with me while I'm. Well, you can also. Are you going to show us some decorating?
Well, the thing that you want me to show something, the thing that I can show that I loaded.
Yes, I do want you to show us something. Come on.
Well, I'm going to show you. So, if you weren't aware, on YouTube, my channel, in past years, I did have cake and cupcake videos there, and I have a few Russian piping tip videos that have like literally millions of views. And so this is a version to how to fill your piping bag with buttercream. So here I'm just buttering a piece of plastic wrap with, this is Dusty Rose and then some copper. And I'm sandwiching the icing, like colors. And by doing this, you create like kind of a layering in your icing as it comes out, instead of having just one color in your piping bag. So you can see here I sandwich like the colors, and then in the center, the middle of my flower will be yellow. So this is a technique if you're using the Russian piping tips. So you visualize how you want your color to come out of the piping tip, and you create these icing pouches. So I actually put the link to my cupcake playlist in the coffee shop with the supply list. And so if you want to watch that, there's a few videos. And then but then this very popular technique, right? Everybody's seen this one. If you haven't, it's rainbow. You just basically pipe your colors, and it's easier to do it with a piping tip to get your cylinders of color. Roll it up. Oh, you see it moved. I just gotta squish it back there. And then you create another kind of a pouch, so it comes out in a different way. So you can make these pouches, and it really changes the way your icing comes out of the bag. Jeremy calls his belly a frosting.
Miracles do happen. I colored one.
Well, that's good. I can play the other one now.
I just realized I brought, just folks, just bear with me, okay? So I brought in, because I love electric paint, okay? But I will be honest, I don't know what happened to this one, because I started to edit, and it's coming out like
too thick.
It's so thick, like it's thick, and it's leaving specks of color. Okay, so if this happens to you, what I would recommend that you add little corn syrup to it, and you shake it, you let it stand, shake it, or glycerin maybe, but not like a whole lot, maybe like a few drops. The glycerin helps to kind of
loosen it.
Yes, loosen it, and it what's the word I'm looking for? Reconstitutes the consistency, and so it kind of comes together. I don't have that with me here, so that's why this icing or this buttercream is going to have these specks of color in there. Today I'm using American buttercream. We haven't talked about that. American buttercream is basically fat and sugar flavoring, and you can also add some liquid to it. Personally, what's your favorite buttercream? Folks, what's your favorite buttercream? Let us know in the comments. And what is your favorite, Mark?
Well, I do like a chocolate ganache, and I do like a cream cheese frosting. Those are probably my two favorite. A nice cream cheese frosting is delicious on a variety of flavors. It works with a lot of different cupcake flavors, right?
When you make your cream cheese, do you also add butter?
I do a third cream cheese, a third butter, and a third margarine.
Oh, Jeremy, that is so sweet. That is so sweet. So my favorite is actually Swiss buttercream, Swiss meringue. Yes, Swiss meringue, because I love how smooth it is and it's not as sweet. The only disadvantage that I find, obviously, it's not as easy to put together as American buttercream. American buttercream, you just, you don't have to use eggs or anything like that. Swiss buttercream is basically egg whites heated with sugar until sugar is dissolved. You want to bring it to safe temperature to about 160, 170 degrees of Fahrenheit, meaning that the egg is safe to eat. And then you beat it until almost cool, and then you add soft butter, and it kind of like whips itself into this soft, luscious buttercream. I also like to use it when I make cakes. It's really nice to use on cakes to frost the cakes because it gives you like a really smooth Swiss meringue cream cheese buttercream. Okay. How do you add the cream cheese to the Swiss? I guess I have never used that before. All right, so what are the colors? So I have pink, I have...
So Michelle, I add the margarine because I find that it doesn't melt as easily because it's quite fragile as soon as like the temperature is a little bit on the hot side, and I find the margarine just helps it not be so melty. So that's why I put the margarine in. I'm showing today my version. After Han's going to be done, I'm going to be looking at vegan stuff, and I'm working with ermine. Is it ermine?
Yes. Oh, have you made ermine? Yes.
That's what I made today, ermine.
Do you like it?
Well, I really do not like eating Crisco, and often.
Why did you make it with Crisco? Oh, you had to make it with Crisco because of. Aren't there any other substitutes?
I didn't. I'm just saying. Often vegan recipes suggest Crisco, a vegetable shortening, and I do not like the feel of Crisco in my mouth, on my lips after it stays.
No,
I don't enjoy it. And so ermine, and this is here in Canada. This is the brand that I buy here. It's very good. They sell, I use this also when I make vegan cookies. It's great for baking. It's much cheaper than that kind of like really fancy vegan. What's it called? The yellow package. You know what I'm talking? I have it here in the freezer.
The yellow package? Yes, sure. Yellow package.
Balance. I don't know. Earth Balance. It's so expensive, Earth Balance. And so this one.
Earth Balance, yes.
Very good.
Expensive?
Oh, it is expensive. This one here, they sell that package is under $3. So it's affordable. It's good quality. It tastes good. So this is my like vegan preferred product. And while we're at it, I just want to show this, guys. I found this. So this is not sponsored or anything, but Good Natured Products, they sell plant-based clear plastic packaging for food. So food safe, clear plastic, so cupcake trays and all that to put your cookies, whatever, but plant-based. So if you're looking for environmental kind of options to package your food or your things that you're selling, maybe check them out because you know, that's important to consider as well. We you know, there's so much garbage that's accumulated, and so that's like a pretty significant thing. So again, if you want to check them out, Good Natured Products. It's a Canadian company in British Columbia. I thought that was interesting when I found that in my search. So you're getting there, Han?
Yeah, I almost had biceps, you know, from all this work.
Well, I'll just talk about the ermine then quickly. So we talked about like,
yes.
So everybody is used to, you know, either the meringue type where you're kind of whipping egg whites, introducing butter, or you're whipping butter, introducing powdered sugar. Ermine is kind of different where you're making, you're cooking flour, kind of making a sort of like a pudding type thing.
Pudding custard, yes. It's a custard base, yes.
Yeah, but because it's vegan, there's no egg and stuff, so it's not really a custard. It's more like kind of a thick paste, I want to say. And so here I just filmed myself quickly. So this is a plant-based milk, sugar, and flour, and you boil it until it thickens, and then you have to let it cool, obviously, before you introduce it to your vegan butter. But it really is my kind of preferred vegan. Like, I'm not a vegan, but like there's so many food allergies and everything, and often when you're going to a party, people are requesting vegetarian, allergic to this, allergic to eggs, allergic to milk. It's just something to have in your toolbox if you have, you know. And so once it's boiled, I just strain it in case there's any particles, and then you're left with like a silky kind of, like I said, like a it's not as thick as pudding. And then you just use that a little bit like if you were to put caramel in your buttercream, and then you just whip it together, and it can kind of look like it's curled and curdled, what's the word?
Curdled.
And so there you could, the thing I saw online, I use my torch and I just heat the side of the bowl as I whip it, and that kind of rectifies it, because it's something to do with like the butter, like the vegan butter, when you're whipping it, it's cold and the molecules and all that, it's above my pay grade there. But by heating the bowl a little bit, it helps that, and you get a really silky smooth, pleasant thing to eat.
I love that buttercream.
Any greasiness on your lips. And so that's in the coffee shop with my supply list. I have it free there with the coffee shop, my vegan recipe for the cupcakes and the ermine.
Susan also posted this, and I have heard about this. Have you tried this vegan?
No.
I have heard about this, and Laura from Dozen Eggs, she had mentioned it, that it's a good butter to use in frostings and baking and stuff.
What is it? Is it with the bean paste?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while, but I remember that. You girls.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph. You girls really need a Thermomix machine. So speed up the baking. I have a friend, and actually my neighbors, they wanted me to use the Thermomix machine. My cousin also has it. She like loves it and everything, but I'm a control freak. I want to be more in control. And this machine is in control, like, of everything you're doing. Like, it beats, you know, everything for you. Like you set the chocolate to melt, it melts it. So you kind of, I'm more like, why do I want to at certain temperature? So, but I hear it's a really, really good machine. It's about $1,000, right? Or something like that.
I don't know Thermomix. I'd have to look it up. So there's the recipe is in my coffee shop there, /Munchal Confections. I have it with the supply list. So you get the supply list. It's a PDF clickable document. And then I loaded the vegan chocolate cupcakes I'll be decorating and the vegan ermine recipe. And the other thing that's interesting about the ermine, which I think is wonderful, is if you wanted to do like a fresh blueberry flavored buttercream, well, you can't really throw blueberries in your buttercream. That'll be a little bit weird, but you could certainly throw a few blueberries in that milk because you can make regular ermine with milk and, you know, like just regular. And so you can do it with the almond milk or whatever. And then you boil your fruits in there. You get all the yummy taste. You get the beautiful natural colors. And then you make your buttercream, and you're going to get this infusion of flavor naturally, as opposed to using, you know, kind of bottled up stuff. So blueberry season is coming up. You can make some blueberry flavored or tea infused, whatever you like.
Oh, it's $2,000.
2,000.
Well, I'm gonna get my Kenwood. It's about 600.
What's it called?
Thermomix. My cousin, she swears by it. My neighbors, they actually were like, "Well, you need to, you know, you need to have it. We can borrow it to you because you don't have a mixer." I'm like, if I break it, imagine if I break it, I'll be $2,000.
It's $2,100.
Wow. Well, it better does everything, clean itself and all.
Yeah.
That's a pricey machine.
So are you ready?
I think so. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not very used to working with American buttercream. I do prefer Swiss buttercream. It is notoriously difficult to color Swiss buttercream. If you like to work with Swiss and don't know how to color it, I have a detailed blog post about it, how I color it with regular gel colors. What I do, I heat the butter. I actually take a little bit of buttercream and I put it in a bowl, or maybe I'll show it next time, and I heat it up in the microwave with the food color. What that does, the heat activates the color, and it makes it really, really vibrant and how it should be. And then you can add it to the remaining buttercream that is still pipeable, and it helps to achieve bright colors that way. Otherwise, it's usually very muted. Like when you add leaf green to your Swiss buttercream, it just is dark green. It's very, very ugly. You can also use oil-based food colors, but I know those, not everybody has those on hand. So gel colors are probably more pantry friendly, I guess. People have them more than oil colors. Okay, all right. So I'm going to just do what's really popular these days. It's just not as, I mean, normally you decorate a cupcake with a swirl, but today we're going to use two different tips. So I've got my star tip. This is number 18, and I also have a petal tip. Star tip number 18, it's also good for cookie decorating. So I know Marlyn had mentioned earlier that there are cupcake piping tips more in favor to use on cupcakes. Those are the larger tips. That's the yellow one. That's a large tip. So I wouldn't use that on cookies, but you could actually use some of the tips that you use on cookies. Not all of them, because some are really small, on your cupcakes if you wanted to. So I'm gonna do, this is really like so simple. So you just use, can you see? You can't even see. Where is my camera? Oh, here it is. And you can see my buttercream, it's not super stiff. And you can, there's no signs in this. So now you just do whatever you want to do. Pipe little stars. Now, when you're using the leaf petal tip, you want to make sure that the narrow part of the petal tip, because it has two sides, right? It has a wide part and a narrow end. So you want to make sure that the narrow end is facing up. So I'm going to start at this end. I'm just going back and forth. And you can use different colors. You can, have fun with it. You could even use different flavored buttercream, like Marlyn mentioned. It's fun to flavor your buttercream with different flavors. I can see this little bit here. It's losing out, so I'm going to scrape that off. You can then use some pretty sprinkles if you wanted to. So complicated. All right, let's try this.
Well, the thing that some people struggle with, depending, is arthritis. So if you have arthritis, it's difficult for you to do a constant long squeeze. So what Han is demonstrating is less squeezing and little bursts of squeezing. So it might, if you have struggles with your hands, this might be a little bit more forgiving with these types of issues.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good, thank you. And you can finally use all your piping tips that you bought that you have never used before. You know, I don't know about you, but I do buy a lot of piping tips, and then they are sitting there and nobody's using them.
Well, this technique also, as I'm looking at you, I think it'd be fun for kids, because kids like to try everything. You know, oh, I want to put a little bit of pink. I want to put a little bit of, you know, they want to put everything on it. So this way they can.
If you think about it, you could make Santa this way. This could be a face, like a green face. Yeah, I mean, you can really like have fun with that. Different colors. These are very like summery colors that I decided to use. Mm-hmm. Sprinkles I'm using are from, these are fancy sprinkles.
My gosh, yes, those are like what, $10, $12 a bottle? Probably.
Use them sparingly so they last you a lifetime. But really, you don't need to use a whole lot of these sprinkles. You know, it's a small bottle. They're quite nice. It's a nice assortment. The large balls are probably not something you want to munch on, although it says, yeah, I guess they are. I mean, you just have to, I guess, suck on them. They are edible. Okay, I'm going to do, I wish I had put my pink into,
you're not in frame, darling.
That up, yes. Am I in frame?
Is that a 104 or is it bigger than the 104?
This is, no, you are amazing. You are amazing. This is 104. How did you know?
Because I'm amazing. Oh.
I answered my own question, yes.
So Jeremy's saying it reminds him, I think, of Lisa Frank. I don't know, is that an artist, I would presume?
Yes, that is. It is an artist. That's awesome. Thank you. To be compared to, I'm not being compared, but
Lily Pulitzer?
Yes, thank you. That's awesome. I'm really just, this is a last minute thing, like I always do, kind of. I just wanted to have a little fun, you know. It's so
exactly. Not everything has to be super planned out. You can have just fun decorating evenings, invite a few girlfriends, or maybe even just do it with your children. They'll love it.
These are my favorite kind of sprinkles.
Yes, the Jimmy.
What's your favorite kind of sprinkles, guys? Let us know in the comments. Do you have a favorite? I love Jimmy's. Don't fight me on it. They are called Jimmy's. I know some people call them differently, right? They are Jimmy's.
I don't know what other name.
I lived in Pennsylvania. I think they were invented in Pennsylvania. Cylindrical sprinkles are Jimmy's. They're my favorite because they are soft. They are not hard as a rock. They look pretty.
They're cheap.
They are pretty cheap. They also, they're sprinkles. Yes, yes, I love these sprinkles. Okay, I'm gonna do couple more. Or I do have blue. Should I do blue as well, guys? I have blue. Maybe I can do blue with a leaf tip.
May as well. You have it there.
Okay, I don't have, I actually have, this is a tipless bag. So I'm going to use it with a tipless bag. Although when you're using super stiff buttercream, I wouldn't recommend it. Like Marlyn said, it can burst on you. But this buttercream is kind of soft.
They sell, I saw on AliExpress now, they're selling these silicone piping bags, which do look interesting, I must say, for buttercream, because again, if we talk about how much plastic, you know, it reduces a little bit.
My only concern, how big is it? Do you know?
I think they had them in a variety of sizes. You can buy whatever you want. And then there's the old style, the fabric ones from back in the day, you know, the classic fabric kind of coated inside pastry bag.
Those I actually do like. The only thing is you have to make sure that you dry them fairly quickly or they do start to mold.
Really? Oh.
Yes. Or I mean, like not like I didn't get penicillin or anything, but it will get like, yeah, like, you know, little slimy and stuff.
Mm.
Do we have any questions? So I'm going to be using blue now. So I figured, all right, let's see what we can do with the blue.
I think you're saying, Anna, confetti sprinkles, maybe? Those are fun. I like to use those as decorating elements. I sort through the colors and use them. Oh, those are pretty to make a little flower. Michelle tested out the silicone ones and she said she does like it.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they wash out, well, like it's, they're washable.
I do wash my plastic ones too. I do.
Oops, sorry, folks. I'm out of the frame. And if you don't have a leaf tip, it's super easy to make the leaf tip. You just cut a V shape on your piping bag. Now, what kind of center should be pink, huh?
Sure.
I'm going to do...
Cynthia's loving your blue.
Thank you. Let's see if we can pull this off. And then you can just start. Yeah, this is definitely for the kids. Fantastic. So if you need an activity for your children during the summer.
Well, again, the children have trouble with long bursts of pressure, right? If you're frosting a cupcake, often you have to squeeze for a long time in a very consistent pressure. So this is little bursts of squeezing, and it's a little bit more conducive to their abilities. Very nice cupcake. That one turned out.
Ready? Are you ready for the chocolate one? Okay, let's do the chocolate one. I really like the blue. That is so pretty. So pretty. So what are we going to do with the blue? Maybe I should... I'll do some long leaves. I really do prefer working with Swiss. Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to scrape that off. I wanted to show you if you are in a pinch and you need to ice your cupcakes, you can also use a little scoop.
Oh.
And then you can just, if you don't have a piping tip, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just
well, I like the idea of the cupcake scoop for the same reason as for when you put the batter in. You can really control the amount and everything is going to be the same, right? You're not in frame. And so everything is going to be the same. All your cupcakes are going to have the same amount of icing or frosting.
Yes, it's a little runnier than I would have liked. You can then dip it in sugar or like...
Yes, Elaine, yeah. You don't want to necessarily use the bags you use for buttercream with your royal icing because trace amounts of grease can cause your royal icing to not dry and to just mess it up. So
yeah, I actually have a separate pouch for the buttercream ones and the royal icing ones. I don't use the same ones. I'm going to do this one more time.
The difference, I think, Julie, icing and frosting, right? Icing is just kind of like runny, kind of like sugar and milk type thing. And frosting is like fluffy and whipped and more airy. So icing is like what we put on a donut, kind of, I think. Like it's kind of like just like a, not as, hey, is that, what do you think, Hannah? Is that's what
I always have because people use that term very loosely. You have, oh, I'm going to use icing on my cake. I'm going to use it frosting on my cupcakes. And for me, like, did you say, for me, like icing is always looser than frosting, but a lot of people will say, I'm putting icing on my cake. I'm icing, basically you can use, I'm icing my cake or I'm frosting my cake. So it's like maybe it depends on where you are. Like I said, jimmies are called sprinkles in certain areas of the U.S. Some areas don't call them jimmies. So I don't. To be honest, I don't really. Well, no, but I personally like you did. Like icing, it's looser than frosting. That's how I kind of. Oh, you can wash them in a dishwasher. That's amazing.
June's saying frosting, icing is the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then Katie's saying it's more like icing is more glazed and frosting is whipped and fluffy. So that's it. I mean, it's all sweet and yummy.
Oh, this is a leaf tip. Never mind. All right.
Would that be like a drip cake or a bun cake? You're asking the type of cake she's decorating, the type of cake?
This is actually a coconut. Very good.
You're not in frame?
Of course I'm not in frame. That's what I like to be, out of frame. So this is coconut. It's so good. It's coconut with coconut, real coconut, like coconut, shredded coconut. It has 3 coconuts: shredded coconut, coconut flavoring, 20 drops of oil flavoring, super, super concentrated, and also coconut milk, unsweetened. Very, very good. Very good. I love coconut.
Yeah, I think, Anna, you're asking, I think that the icing would be what you do, like drips on a cake. So you would do the frosting, kind of crumb coat and ice and decorate, and then you would do your dripping with the icing, let it drip off the sides, if that's what you're saying.
Okay, let's do this, baby. This should be fun. Oh, again, blue. I don't know. I'm attracted to the blue.
You're not in frame? Well, Teresa, there is like version. People do put the icing. I've seen it on cupcakes where they just kind of like spoon it on and
glaze.
Yeah, they kind of like glaze their cupcake, kind of, and it's just like a little bit on the top, just a little kind of chocolate with milk, and they just put that on their cupcakes. I've seen it. At the end of the day, your cupcakes, you can put whatever you want. You could put peanut butter on them. You could put cream cheese. You could put whatever you want on them. Everybody's loving it, Han. Linda's saying your work is always so good.
Thank you. This is fun.
Preppy heaven today.
I'm not really piling it up. Like, I don't know about you folks, but I prefer more cake than frosting.
Yeah, that's another great part of making your own, is that you can adjust your quantities kind of how you want. That's another thing. Teresa's saying they're beautiful, is European versus American. Usually is sweeter in the United States. The palates have developed, the food is kind of just sweeter. And so you kind of get desensitized to salt and to sugar. And so the more you eat, the less you taste it. And so you get acclimated and like it sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And in Europe, like you can adjust the sugar a little bit more when you're making, let's say, like the Swiss buttercream and that type of stuff, because you're adding, the air is with the egg white. And so you don't need to thicken it with the powdered sugar. And so it's a lot less sweet, right? June likes more cake than icing.
June is my team. I have to say, like, I do like to look at the pictures when it's
a lot.
A beautiful cupcake and it looks nice, but I would definitely scrape that off, and that would be like that would serve other 10 cupcakes, but it's really pretty to look at.
I think she's saying, no, that she likes a little cake with her icing, so it's more icing and a little bit.
A little bit. Now this could be a snowflake. Look how pretty that is. That could be for Christmas. Look.
But you could totally do that technique on a cookie.
Yes, you could. I actually like that quite a bit. I do like it. I wanted to show you, and then you could actually use white nonpareils, which would be really nice for, like, excuse me, like little frost. Very cute. All right, so I have I've got the chocolate one. It's domed. I find the domed ones are a bit harder to decorate. Do you find that?
Depends what you're doing. Depends what you're doing. I find that, you know, for florals, I like it when it looks like a bouquet. I don't like a bunch of flowers flat on a cupcake. I like it when it's rounded. And so, and if you were doing, let's say, Cookie Monster or something, a cartoonish character, it's nicer too when it's rounded because it creates kind of the dimension of the face. If you guys want to look up an Instagram account, Jane Taylor, she does floral cupcakes and quite.
Also, Sophia's Cupcakes.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know her. I don't know. I'd have to look her up, but
I'm sure amazing.
Florals.
Today I'm just using basic tips. You don't need any fancy tips. Some of the cupcakes that you'll see on Instagram, they are made with specialty tips that are available in specialty stores, online or bakery stores. If your buttercream becomes too soft, what you do is stick it into the fridge or freezer for, oops. I always forget that this is, I was expecting, well, never mind. I wanted blue there, but it's okay. Oh, I thought it's a star tip. Never mind. Should I do one more?
Well, it's.
Oh, we are in a good shape. I actually prefer decorating cookies. Well, we decorate cookies on Fridays, which is our cookie lunch break. And we are back this week on Friday. I'm going to do one more just so we have a nice, so I have 2, 4, 6. We have a pair. So we have 9. I'm going to do one more.
That's a good tip, Nancy. She cuts her cupcake in half and makes a sandwich with it.
Haniela's YouTube says not available. I'm not sure what that means, but
I don't know.
I'm going to do now.
I thought I had them here.
To make this even more fancier, you're still decorating, right, Mar?
What?
Are you going to decorate?
Well, I don't know. Depends how much time's left.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Ta-da!
Very nice. Oh, Jennifer, so sorry about that.
Hi, Jen. So here they are.
Beautiful.
Eat the frosting of it, then put more frosting on it, and repeat this, and eventually eat the cake, maybe.
Okay, so
all right, so Mar, it's your turn.
I'm just going to quickly show a few things here. So I put the link to my playlist to my cupcakes in my coffee shop there. If you go and get the supply list and everything, so there's quite a few. The decorative kind of like wall tip, the Russian piping tips. Those are, people see them and find them a lot of like interesting. So I share kind of how to use those. So earlier I had showed how to layer the buttercream on the plastic wrap. So this is what it looks like when you're actually using it. So this is a rounded kind of a big cupcake. And I'm just adding a ruffle along the edge so that the edge of the cupcake is kind of hidden. And then here you can just see in one fell swoop, you just pipe the flowers with these flower tips. And usually they come in lots and they do all kinds of different flowers. And you can see there the middle, like how I had layered the icing. Well, it comes out differently. And here's the rainbow one that I showed. And again, the ball tip. So this is a bit of a wonky tip. While you're squeezing, the icing essentially is coming out of the sides. And so you're left with this hole. And so I used another different flower tip, the same kind of like Russian flower tip.
Your icing is super stiff for this, right? It has to be super stiff.
It does. I get a lot of questions with regards to using whipped cream. I would not recommend whipped cream with that. And so I just want to show them here. I have a few of them, and I just want to show you what to avoid if you do want to buy those. So here, let me just add my camera to the stream here. And they come either as one piece. Did I put the picture here? I wanted to just show you. Oh, here you can see. So if you look, the ball tip and then that rush, oh, here it's this one. So if you look at that piping tip, the hole where the icing comes out is actually soldered together. It's not one piece that's molded together like this one. If you look closely at this piping tip, it's actually one piece that was like, you know, machined and squeezed out. And the one that's soldered, I did have like problems. Like it literally broke apart. Like the soldering is chintzy. So if you're gonna invest in these and buy these, look for the ones that are molded as opposed to soldered, so that you don't have this happen here. Let me just show you. So then you're left with just this big hole because the piece falls out. So just take note of that if you're shopping around for the Russian tips. They come in a wide variety of, you know, kind of different things. This one here is just to do petals. And you can use them also just to do the middle of the flower. So you could start, let's say, pipe the middle in, let's say, a yellow.
I don't get the one you have with just for the petals. Oh.
This one?
I don't have one. No, I don't have that one. No. Mine came in this cute little box. I don't have that one.
So you could start with this, let's say, for the middle, and then come in and just add, you know, the petals around the side. So this is just an option if you wanted something. You can quickly fill a cupcake quite, you know, fast with this. And then the other great staple is the Ateco. They have a really nice set. It's like this.
You know, I have tried these on with Royal. It does work. It is a bit tricky, but I tried it on cookies. The only thing is the cookie had to be iced. Like otherwise, it wasn't like I had a hard time with it to kind of stick to the raw.
Well, what I've seen is you can actually fill it with icing and then seal this one here with saran wrap. So you put your icing and then you push with the other piping tip with the royal icing in there, and then you can use the, you know, the flower scissors and cut the flower and let them dry. So you're making kind of like transfers in advance. But they're tricky to use with royal icing, and they take a lot of icing because you have all this kind of.
He's asking, what is what Russian tip would you say is good for the beginner?
Well, it's all about your consistency. To be able to achieve a defined flower like this, it's your consistency. So your icing cannot be runny, and you have to watch out if you have hot hands. For the petals to really hold and maintain like that, you need a thick icing, a thick frosting. You see, like the petal, the ruffle around the edges, the leaves, everything is quite stiff. The video on YouTube is very detailed. I explain it, but that's just to show you like some design options, and hand loaded a few others here. She made this.
Oh no, that's a Godzilla. I made. This is Swiss buttercream now. This is Swiss buttercream. It's. I do find it. It's. I like to work with it much better than.
Well, it's to show also. You see here, she used many cupcakes grouped together to create a design, as opposed to just an individual design. So that's.
Yes. And the teeth are made with marshmallows. I just flattened the marshmallows, and an eye. It's a upside down chocolate disc.
Yes, it can be. It kills. It can be warm or soft. I found it wasn't too bad. Tokyo, yes, it wasn't too bad. But you have, and the thing is, that's great though. You do work quite quickly with those. Here's another one of Han's creations. She made those little tiaras. How'd you do those?
Those are actually those are chocolate. You pipe those on a piece of wax paper or parchment. You do have to. I did have them curved a little bit, so I was piping them on a. You can use. They're small. You can use the
hot paper roll.
Yeah, or like even a toilet paper roll or whatever, paper towel roll.
And then.
These are the first ever cupcakes I think I made with like multiple colors, inspired by yours truly. And then these are, I had so much fun making these. These are very popular on my blog. These are obviously basketball hoop cupcakes. I used actually mini cookies. You can see these are on a stick. They had cookies when you're trying to put them, incorporate them into your cupcake design. You have to keep in mind that if the cookie is too big and too heavy, then it's going to kind of be difficult to make it stay upright. Yes. So these are quite small, maybe inch and a quarter or something like that. And then I used the mini mini what are those candies? Help me out here. I love
those are Reese's Pieces.
Yes, but they are the minis.
So this is the vegan chocolate recipe. Vegan stuff is, I mean, the thing is we've been so conditioned, I want to say, or we're so used to recipes that have been, tried and true and tested throughout, our grandmothers, great grandmothers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So Cynthia is asking, Amar, you got a set of Atico tips from where?
That's from, I got it from a local cake store, but Ateco, a lot of Amazon stores sell Ateco. So just write Ateco piping tip. I do have a different set Ateco as well in my coffee shop, the supply list for today.
Okay, coffee shop, for those of you who are just joining us or you're kind of lost a little bit where to find a coffee shop. So here is the link at the bottom. So this is Marlyn's coffee shop, and you can find everything from today's live stream there. She put up a supply list, correct?
Yeah,
And whatever comes with it, you'll find in the shop.
So I was just saying, like, the recipes that we're used to eating have been developed through time. Like, our grandmothers kind of developed them, and it was always eggs and so now this new kind of way of eating, I find that sometimes we're trying to replicate the recipes with this new way of eating when really for me, I find that new stuff should be completely invented. So they're constantly just trying to, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to jam a square peg in a round hole. But as far as like converting recipes, this is one of the better I find tasting. It's a very moist cake. I think you could fool people. They wouldn't know that it's vegan. It's very airy. It's very nice.
So I find that gluten-free is harder to do than vegan. No?
Yeah. I'm trying to get it so that you can kind of see it.
No, we can see.
So this recipe is in that coffee listing. I put it there. I mean, there's essentially not much in here. There's flour, sugar, cocoa, baking soda, salt, and then coffee, vegetable oil, vinegar, and vanilla. If you don't have vanilla in a chocolate cupcake, I find vanilla is a little bit lost with a strong chocolate and coffee. It's like the standard ingredient everybody puts, but if it's expensive, it's not an essential thing anyway. So it's a very nice cake, very fluffy. So if you're looking for a vegan recipe, it's quite good. And then here is that ermine, again, that vegan frosting. Yes, now I'm getting my thing. So this one is, it looks nice actually on camera, but here it's kind of like a dingy brown. And that's another thing that happens with vanilla. Vanilla does pigment, it's brown. And so if you want to maintain a white icing or frosting, you want to maybe use a artificial thing, but it depends if you're going to be coloring it.
Yeah, Wilton has clear vanilla extract. Another thing, I don't know if this does work with, I don't know how is the real color of this, but you could also add, with Swiss buttercream, because there is so much butter, right? And usually butter is like this light yellow, so it also lends the color to the meringue. So meringue is pure white, but as soon as you start adding butter, it starts to turn on this. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't really bother me, but if it bothers you, I sometimes would add but it has to be a minuscule amount of purple to kind of take away that yellow tint, but minuscule.
So this is powdered food color by Drip Color, and so I'm using my Boo Boo stick. I find this is great to get your food color, your powdered food color into your container. You see it gives you like your little scoop here. And the other thing that's great is, like when you're doing the gel, it's harder to control, like when you just want a little bit. I do like the powder for this. So this is a different powder than I've used in the past. This is made specifically for fat, like when there's fat.
Oh, okay. And you don't have to do
no,
in the water or something?
You just stir it
directly in.
So you can either, if you want to have like a bit of a marble, you can put it dry in the piping bag, and it does like a speckling when you do it that way. And you do need quite a bit. Here you can see it's still quite light. I'm going to do another good scoop so we can get it like all pigmented. This is, so if you're going to make like the vegan, this vegan version for the cake, you probably need 3 to do 3 times the recipe of the icing or the frosting to go with that recipe of cupcakes. And so the ermine does kind of like look like it's maybe curled or curdled, whatever the word is.
Yes, I know.
So you just heat the bowl. I use my torch as my KitchenAid was spinning. And, you know, we're used to seeing everything hyper colored, but you know, you can, I've said this before in cookies, you can whisper colors to people. You don't need to scream every time, you know, like sometimes you can.
That's nice how you said it.
Eh?
But that's like, it's like so poetic. Looking into this Instagram account, they do a lot of poems, and I love it. And that was so poetic. You can whisper color to people.
And so this, they get it that it's pink. It doesn't have to be super dark. And then, so the other thing with the powder, it does make a little bit of a mess there. And usually you're better to wipe it dry and then come in and wipe it after with a cloth. I'm going to put my piping bag, my piping tip in. I'm going to use this one here. It's super big, a Teco 827.
So, Anne has a question. I know you don't have Master Elite. Now, I have Master Elite. I have tried it in Royal, but I find it has to be, maybe I had made a mistake. I put it directly, like Marlyn is putting it into the her buttercream. But her color is specifically designed to work with fat, right? So it's like blending in really nicely. Now I found that when I put it directly into the Royal Master Elite, I was getting specks. It was like this.
Okay, it was giving you the speckled.
Like specks. So I think I need to dilute it in a little bit of water, which then affects the consistency of Royal.
Yes.
So I don't know. I have to play with it more.
You'd have to put it in with your egg before.
Before, I guess.
So I've got it in, and I'm marking it with my scissors so I know where to cut. So if you cut the hole too big, when you're squeezing, your piping tip can fall right out of the bag. So now I'm squeezing it I'm cutting it just past the spikes so that when I squeeze, well, my piping tip doesn't come out of the piping bag, which is very annoying. And now I've got it in this cup, and it just makes things easier. You know, we only have 2 hands. I'm trying to get it in. So then you're easily able to just use the cup to kind of press it. You can, you know, and keep the edge of your piping bag clean. And you can kind of squish it in there. And sometimes you'll get air pockets, and that will, you know, impact. Sometimes you'll be piping and you'll get like a burst. So I prefer, if you're making an order, you want to put your cupcakes in the box before you decorate them, because you could stick your finger in them. It happens. It's like cookie decorating. You're at it and you're focused, and next thing you know, you've ruined one. So if you have them in the box and then you're not having to take the, see, this is not ideal. If you've got them iced in this tray and then after you have to lift them out, you're probably going to ruin them. So put them in your box that you're delivering them in. This is not going anywhere aside from my house, so it doesn't matter, but you want to
Thank you, Firefly Katie. That's a good idea to dilute some of the powder, the Master Elite in Everclear. Yeah, that's a good idea because it evaporates. Yes, it might make like a little paste.
See my hand? And so this is a very, very big piping tip, and you can always check how it's going to come out in your bowl. I also am not a fan of like more frosting than my cupcake. And here, if you're new and you at this and you're not sure, you can just, you see, I'm just squeezing, and as it comes out, it expands and fills my cupcake. You don't always have to, you know, go overthink things. You can just do that. And then the other option is they start from the center and they kind of like create this swirl to kind of like create a flower. So you're doing kind of like a rose. And then here the end, you can put a little pearl or a little decoration here to hide the end that isn't as pretty. This really ices nicely this.
It's nice and stiff, not like my buttercream. Yes.
And I would say probably it's got a little bit more tolerance with regards to heat. Yes, I'm not saying you want to have this in 100-degree weather, but
it is more tolerant.
And the amount, if you don't have a big batch, well, this version will ice more cupcakes than the rose version. So if that's a factor and you don't have a lot of icing or frosting, well, you want to think about that, or else you're going to have to make another batch, you see? And then you've got a considerable amount left in there. So you're going to push your finger in there to get the last bit. But I'm going to fill up my bag.
Huh? I do that as well. I was wondering how people do it.
Well, you have no choice.
Yeah, that's what I do. Also, folks of you, those of you, I see we have more people joining us. If you are just joining us today, we are making cupcakes. It's an introduction to our new series that we are hoping to do here on Facebook and YouTube. We're just decorating some simple cupcakes. Marlyn is now demonstrating how she is using vegan buttercream on her vegan chocolate cupcakes. Both recipes are listed in her coffee shop.
They're with the supply list. And if you're just arriving, you can watch on replay. The live will remain.
And if you are watching on replay, let us know where you are watching from and let us know you are watching the replay.
So yeah, the bigger the cupcake liner, the fewer the cupcakes you'll be able to make. So if you get the big cupcake liners, well, they're very nice. They make a super nice cupcake, but you're going to have less. If you're making them for a school party, well, you don't need the big cupcakes. And then here, I'm just going to do it this way because it's just like fast and easy. It's just to show you guys. And you get like a decent ratio cake to cupcake. You see, if I lift it up and I show you on the side, you see it's like, and this I filled it up really like practically where the line is. So probably 2/3, because the vegan cupcake does not rise like a regular one. So you can sometimes test your recipe to see how much it rises if you find your cupcakes are not filled enough, because not all recipes are the same. So that's it for today. Like Han said, this is a new series. Today we just wanted to kind of give you guys the basics with regards to tools. And if you guys, is there anything you'd want to see? We're open always to suggestions. And
we're also going to do more decorated versions, not just the buttercream. I'm going to make my homemade marshmallow fondant. We're going to use embossing tools, different molds, right?
Yes.
Whatever tools we had that we bought and we forgot we have them. Yes, like something like that. Oh, I have that. I have the blue one. Aren't those the best, the blue one?
Yes, they are very nice. So if you have cookie fondant molds, well, usually these are the ones that you would use for cupcake. They're cupcake size, like a button. If you made the button, that would look really nice on the edge of the rose, or all kinds of things. And you want to think about how hard the sprinkles are that you're putting on your cupcakes. It's rather unpleasant to bite into a luscious, soft cupcake with beautiful, buttercream and then hit concrete. So think about that. They're nice to look at, but they're not that pleasant to eat. So
I would say it's also not pleasant. Cupcake in one hand and a tooth.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get sued.
Oh, sorry, it's not funny. Nobody's going to.
And all of your recipes are on the blog.
Yes, all of the recipes are on the blog. My blog is hanielas.com. You can research there. I also put a link in a comment where it's the chocolate cupcake I made, the very domed one.
That one, yeah.
It's oh, it smells good. The addition of a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, it was good. So that's it. So you can check on her recipes. She has all her icing recipes, and I think she has also the non-version ermine on her.
You just made sure that it was
That's
her.
right.
What's going on?
That's Ryan.
It's okay. I have a German version.
Ryan connected.
We're
Again.
going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But, it's complicated.
It's live.
It's live. You at least know it's live. It's not fake live. It's live. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
So next week we'll be back again on Tuesday in usual time, 1 p.m. Don't forget to follow. And on Friday, I forgot, on Friday it's a Shark Week. So come and join us for some shark fun. You found a shark too, huh?
Well, I think it was a shark tooth. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Right? I thought it was exciting. I don't know. I was going to say next week, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Baking with My BFF.
Don't pay attention to me, just talk.
I'm trying to locate. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking like a robot. I'm trying to locate the. I can find it. Follow us on Insta. Oh, here it is. Yes. So follow us on Instagram, Baking with My BFF, for some updates. And next week we have a plan. We are going to do actually. It's a little tropical thing. We decided we wanted to do pina colada. Or are we not doing that?
I thought we were doing cupcakes.
No, pina colada cupcakes.
Oh.
With decorated. Or we'll just. Okay, well, I'll look in my.
We'll have another meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hold on a second. I have to find my slide. There it is. Okay, see you guys next week or on Friday. Bye.